Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Nisambulu Vinaka. As leaders, it is our solemn duty to lead by example, to demonstrate through decisive action why we must confront the climate crisis with utmost urgency. There is no challenge more pressing or universal. The science is unequivocal, and the world looks to us for moral leadership. We cannot ask of others what we are unwilling to do ourselves. I regret that I'm not able to join you in person. However, I speak to you via video to ensure the voices of the Pacific small island developing states ring loud and clear in that hall. Our physical absence does not diminish our message. The Pacific will not be silent or sidelined. Our voices must not go unheard on the world stage, for we speak from the front lines of climate change. Small island developing states are the ground zero for climate impacts. We are particularly vulnerable. Our communities face rising seas, intensifying cyclones, and devastating floods that wipe out years of development in an instant. The injustice is appalling. We who have contributed least to global emissions suffer first and worst. Yet, we refuse to be mere victims. Pacific nations have built extraordinary resilience and continue to punch above our weight in climate action. The Pacific is not only a region of climate victims. We are climate leaders, guided by a moral responsibility to our people and to humanity. We call on the world to match our determination and uphold the principle of climate justice. COP30 has rightly been dubbed the implementation COP. It is high time that we move from ambition to tangible action. Last week, Fiji launched our enhanced third nationally determined contribution, significantly increasing the scope of our commitment. We do this not because it is easy, but because it is necessary, and we expect all parties to demonstrate a similar level of resolve to keep 1.5 degrees Celsius alive. The recent advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice confirmed that international law obliges every state, especially the major emitters, to take ambitious action in line with the best available science. This makes our collective obligation clear and irrefutable. No one can ignore the legal, let alone moral, imperative to act. We must hold the line at 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming. This is our non-negotiable red line, the survival line for Fiji and all vulnerable nations. To achieve this, we need a clear roadmap of accelerated action. All parties must align their efforts with a credible 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway, guided by the stark findings of the first global stocktake. The world is significantly off track to meet the Paris goals, and the window for meaningful change is closing rapidly. Let us seize this moment to correct course and get on the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway while we still can. My fellow leaders, keeping 1.5 alive means we must finally and firmly confront the root cause of this crisis. That means phasing out fossil fuels and transitioning into renewable energy on an unprecedented scale, and a timeline that we set for it. The era for unabated fossil fuel use must end. Major emitters, especially G20 countries, must lead the way, phasing out fossil fuels in a fair, orderly manner and ending all new fossil fuel expansion immediately. At the same time, we must invest in and support institutional arrangements for a just transition that is both fast and fair, one that leaves no worker, no community or nation behind. Let us send a clear signal from Belem at the age of coal, oil and gas is drawing to a close, and a clean energy future for all is now being born. None of us, none of our commitments will be credible without the necessary means of implementation. Much of our success depends on adequate, accessible, and predictable climate finance. This COP presents a critical opportunity to finalize the Baku to Belem roadmap, unlocking greater scale, simplifying access, and ensuring predictability in climate finance flows. We must also urgently establish a new and more ambitious adaptation finance goal, as adaptation is a matter of survival for small island states. We must also provide comprehensive guidance to operationalize the new loss and damage fund. Climate justice demands that those who have profited from pollution honor their obligations. Developed countries and major emitters must contribute their fair share to help vulnerable nations cope with the losses and damages we are already enduring. We need major contributions to this fund now, not as charity, but as an obligation and an investment in global stability. As a large ocean state, Fiji knows that climate action and ocean action are two sides of the same coin. Our culture and identity, our livelihoods and economy are all tied to the ocean. The Pacific Ocean is like our lifeblood. It is our lifeblood. It connects us and sustains us. I have consistently championed the Ocean of Peace concept, a vision rooted in Pacific traditions of dialogue and unity, because we seek a region free of conflict and ecological destruction. The ocean must be a unifying force for global climate action. We urge all nations to integrate ocean-based solutions into their climate strategies. Protecting our ocean means protecting our homes. Fiji is doing its part by including ocean-based targets in our NDC 3 and by co-facilitating the Ocean and Climate Dialogue in 2026. We invite all nations to join us in treating the ocean as a key climate stakeholder. We all know the reality that the health of our ocean is directly intertwined with the health of our climate. When we protect mangroves, coral reefs, and fisheries, we are also strengthening our climate resilience. Fiji's climate plans recognize that truth. By safeguarding blue carbon ecosystems and promoting sustainable ocean economies, we are cutting emissions and building adaptive capacity at the same time. Integrating ocean action into our climate response is not optional. It is essential. Let me be very clear. Fiji cannot and should not do this alone, nor can any climate vulnerable nation shoulder these burdens by themselves. This COP must deliver on collective action. We call upon every nation, large or small, rich or poor, to stand with those on the front lines. Solidarity is our first line of defense. When we call for closing the mitigation gap or scaling up finance, we are calling for global commitments that match the scale of a global crisis. Every country has a role to play, but those with greater resources and historical responsibility have a duty to lead. Our message to the world is this: we sink or swim together. The climate crisis does not respect borders. No country is immune, and no country can opt out of our shared future. Only through unity can we secure a safer planet for all. We need actionable solutions, comprehensive approaches, and transformational initiatives that deliver real results on the ground. Tinkering at the margins will not survive. We specifically urge recognition of the special circumstances and vulnerabilities of small island states, which face unique challenges to sustainable development. Initiatives must be tailored to ensure sustainable, tangible, and effective progress for our islands. This means everything from innovation or innovative financing for resilience, infrastructure, to technology transfer that reaches remote communities, and partnerships that build capacity and self-reliance. We have contributed least to this problem, yet we fight on the front lines out of necessity and principle. It is time the international community responded with boldness that matches the gravity of the threat. Incremental change is no longer an option. We need a transformation in how we mitigate, adapt, and address loss and damage. We have come together in Belem with a clear mandate to close the mitigation gap, to mobilize the scale-up climate finance, and to advance action on loss and damage. On mitigation, this means increased ambition now, not in 5 or 10 years, from all major emitters. On finance, it means finally delivering the $100 billion and moving beyond it to a new era of trillions in climate investment, accessible to those who need it the most. On loss and damage, it means the new fund must not be symbolic, but practical, a tool that can help rebuild lives and communities in the aftermath of climate-driven catastrophes. These goals are not just agenda items, they are lifelines. Failing to deliver on them is not an option for us, and it should not be an option for anyone in this room who understands the stakes. Let COP30, COP30 be remembered as the moment we answered the call of the vulnerable and hold ourselves accountable to our promises. A decade ago in Paris, the world promised to limit warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius and pursue 1.5 degrees Celsius. We promised to protect the most vulnerable and secure a safer future for our children and grandchildren. Let us keep that promise. Let us not be the generation of leaders that broke its word and betrayed its duty. The world is watching to see if we will back our words with our action. Future generations will judge us by what we do here and now. In the spirit of urgent optimism and collective resolve, let us truly deliver in this implementation COP. Let us emerge from Belem with outcomes that we can proudly take home to our people. Evidence that global leadership and cooperation can indeed rise to meet the greatest challenge of our age. Welemu, thank you. May God bless our shared journey to a safer climate future. Thank you.